Neil and Peter from Semantic, excuse me, who support the tourism sector and really, support us and also boost attractions and help them through, I think, website management. There's a whole lot of things they do. They've got a quick presentation for us. So we're going to go straight into their presentation and we're going to be back here at 20 minutes past 2.
Yeah, so it's the presentation, then lunch.
And then lunch.
See you back here at 20 past 2.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
See you then.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Introduced myself, Pete Oliver, at a company called Semantic, which I'll introduce in a few moments, and also my colleague, Neil Lewin, who is Managing Director of Semantic. I am the only thing sitting between yourselves and your virtual lunch. And I was going to leave you with a video of glorious Lions' success against the Box, but unfortunately performances have not allowed me to do that. So you're going to have to watch a presentation relating to websites and digitization instead. So hopefully it will be equally appealing to you. So the title of our presentation is quite stark insofar as it's from Stone Age to Phone Age. And we use this to represent what we've seen as a significant shift in consumer behavior, not just in the attractions market, but generally, that has been ongoing for many years, but has been significantly accelerated through the pandemic. And I'll touch on those reasons in a few moments. So, yeah, COVID has enforced us to behave slightly differently. In the visitor attraction sector in particular, what we've witnessed, and I'm referring specifically to the UK market at the moment because that's my knowledge and experience, but what we have seen most significantly when we've been allowed out to visit attractions in the UK, that the processes in which people undertake their visits has significantly changed. Historically, we're used to people walking up on the day, maybe 50% of people booking on the day, turning up in their cars and creating huge queues. And you have to question whether the visitor experience is impacted significantly because of that behavior. But that was the norm, that was tradition. But largely due to COVID and the fact that we have been limited in the number of people that can go to any form of visitor attraction, particularly indoor attractions, museums and that sort of thing, then it has been absolute necessity to capacity manage access. And therefore, the need for advanced booking capabilities has become the norm. And this isn't something that's likely to change or reverse back anytime soon. The philosophy says it takes 21 days to change people's behavior and 90 days to make that part of your day-to-day lifestyle. And given that this was something that was happening anyway, the fact that COVID has accelerated this experience, I think it means it's firmly established for the future. Now, way of looking at this is through people's behavior online. And I think we are in the UK certainly witnessing online as being synonymous with using a mobile phone. Over 62% of all searches are now carried out on a mobile platform. And I'm not just specifically talking about visitor attractions. I'm talking about generally. Whenever we do anything, when we search online, more than 62% of that is done from a mobile platform, which probably doesn't come as any surprise to anybody. If we look at the travel sector as a close bedfellow to visitor attractions, we will witness that there is a significant advancement in the use of technology way beyond what we're witnessing, certainly in visitor attractions in the UK. And the stats are very, very stark. 83% of adults in the US book their trips, any trips overseas or domestic, online. Over 700 million people will have made an online booking by 2023, which is just around the corner. And so much of it is last minute. 72% of bookings happen within 48 hours of the searches that they've done. So using the search as a catalyst to actually carry on and then do something today, tomorrow, is very much the case. And what we're looking at from the travel industry, and here in the UK, you only have to look at the likes of Bookings.com or EasyJet, Ryanair. All of those businesses are very much built around the digital experience. In fact, with those examples, the only way you can use their facilities and their services and their transport is by booking online. There is not a call center, there's not a walk-up capability to do that. So in many regards, the visitor attraction centre has lagged behind, and certainly in the UK, certainly the small to medium-sized attractions have not had the capability or the skills or resources or certainly the budget to be able to deliver the same level of online experience. But as we said, it has made it essential. Necessity is the mother of innovation, and social distancing has made far more social forward planning an essential. And it can result in an improved visitor experience. Not necessarily the case, and depends on the technology that you use and the capability you've had. And a lot of businesses in the UK have been caught short with needing to do this in short order, and move to a model where bookings and searches and information gathering is essentially done online. And what we're seeing through our customers and the generalized stats in the UK market is that over 70% of all bookings now are made online. And in many cases, certainly for indoor attractions, we're seeing percentages that are a lot higher than that. So if I move on to a couple of Semantics customers, we are very pleased to be able to deliver a new website project for Bodmin Jail. Bodmin Jail is over 200 years old, and probably was a necessity for it to go through a refurbishment, but they've changed the overall style of it as being a traditional museum and now made it very much an immersive experience, which is a fantastic visit. If anybody goes down to Cornwall in the UK, it is a fantastic visit, but it only used to be visitable on a rainy day, which is not in short supply in Cornwall, I have to say. But it did mean that a lot of people went to the jail on a wet day, which meant going and queuing outdoors in the rain, and that's not a great start to your experience. So by implementing an online-only advanced booking schedule through COVID, they had to book small groups of people, 10 to 12 people, into a group that went round the jail. And as I say, there's an immersive, fantastic experience that you can go on. But the key thing was it limited capacity, it limited the number of people that could actually go around. But when we reopened with the new website and the new app for bookings, we've increased, and they've reported record revenues based on more limited capacity. Because essentially, not only are we allowing people to book on these rainy days, because we don't know what the weather's going to be like, particularly in the UK tomorrow or the day after, people were booking in advance, and they had a much more even spread of visits across a period, rather than everything being bottlenecked into a wet day. Not only that, but we were able to influence the secondary spend as well. So locking in expenditure on retail and food and beverage items, as well as the ticket purchase in the first place. So a significant impact by implementing good technology. And similarly, we've only been live for the last 8 weeks, I believe. One of our other clients is Yorkshire Wildlife Park, and Yorkshire have gone through a fairly significant construction project on the site, expanding not only the wildlife park, but also a retail park that's now part of it. And as part of that, they have really immersed themselves digitally with the view of leveling the playing field between the physical experience and what they could do online in terms of the engagement prior to visit. And I think the comment was made in the last presentation about how how can the visit live up to the sort of virtual or the digital experience? I think for many of our clients, it's the other way around, where they're really scrambling to make sure that the digital experience is at least good enough to reflect the physical visit when you get there. But in the case of Yorkshire Wildlife Park, if you have a look at their website, I think what you'll see is a really fantastic design to their site. It's very immersive in terms of being able to look at all the various aspects to the safari park, as well as actually making a booking. And the examples I've got on the slide here now show how seamless it is to go from the brochure site and having a look round and the to-do today and the calendar and so on, to actually go through to the booking and making the booking. It's a seamless process, and they've again had record results over a very short period of time. 8 weeks across the summer, generated over £2.5 million after reopening with the new Semantic website. And I think, you know, the point to make is you have the opportunity using digital services to create the urgency, to make it more appealing online for people to make that commitment now, whether you're going to come tomorrow or next week or the week after. You have the ability to, to create the urgency, to collect customer data, to offer upsells, and then specifically to be able to message people as well. That's a key part of it. And I think that, as the comment makes at the bottom there, we are judged on our digital content like never before. It is perhaps the first time that the customer will engage with us. If they've never been to the attraction before, they are more likely to be seeing us online before they see us physically. So it's absolutely imperative that we can make that first impression. But where to start? It's a huge topic. There's so many facets to it, as you can see from the slide. So for many small to medium attractions, it's such a difficult topic to address, particularly with the limited resources that they'll have within the attraction. And Semantic are here to simplify that process. It's been hugely complex. We have been in the industry for over 20 years. We have many customers that have built bespoke, fantastic digital journeys, but it's expensive, it's complicated, it requires a lot of thought and a lot of input. And it's not just about good design, it's about having good systems in place, and it's about having a process and a strategy to optimize that digital experience. You know, whether we're getting people to the website in the first place, or whether we're trying to maximize the conversions through the customer journeys that we put together. And something that we've understood from this is that to do this well, we need to lower the complexity and make it a much more simple process for customers to do it. And one of the things that we've been able to do is build this into a platform. So rather than building it on a bespoke basis that every single customer has something completely different, we have built a modular solution that we can offer that still offers the same flexibility in terms of branding, but gives you the opportunity to deploy something quickly for a fixed monthly fee rather than significant implementation costs that have gone before. And the key principle of this, obviously, from our point of view, is not just to deliver a fantastic experience online, but to give you the opportunity to gather these customer insights and to drive return on investment in terms of the points that I've made already: greater traffic and increased spend per person. And that spend per person can be through the increased repeat visits, or the average spend per person by coming to the park. In the UK, there are a lot of shopping centre-based attractions where they will be the anchor attraction. Lots of people will come there and they'll go to another restaurant with a cafe for food and beverage. The idea is here to try and lock in a lot more of that revenue for the attraction that does all of the hard work in the first place. So we'd like to introduce the Semantic Attractions platform, not to be confused with SAP, as in the large accounting and ERP system, but SAP represents our attractions platform. And the concept of the platform, it really, as I said earlier, is to provide a templated design that is highly customizable, but is modular and allows you to add all of the components that you might need to engage with visitors. And you can see from here, it's not just a brochure site. We're not just talking about that first level of information gathering and engagement. We are talking about registrations, bookings, payments, capturing customer data, messaging, and being able to optimize that entire customer journey. And you can see from the diagram here, the idea is that this is built for any device, very much with mobile first in mind. So the way that we design the templates allows them to scale from mobile to desktop computers. But most importantly, from our perspective, it allows us to integrate underlying systems. And this is where a lot of the complexity comes in. It's whether it's ticketing, retail, capturing customer data in CRM, looking at the analysis, it doesn't matter. And that's really what our attractions engine is designed for. Just going to pass over to Neil, who is going to spend the last couple of minutes just giving you some idea of the key features in a very, very polished, professional website engagement that we can scale up and down to the size of your business.
Thanks, Peter. Yes, I know I'm short on time, aren't I? But essentially the mission is for us to show that you don't need to be kind of earning hundreds of millions of dollars or pounds online and being kind of Disneyland size. We want to simplify all these systems and offerings so we can give you a really polished, out-of-the-box set of features that integrates everything together so you can get that Disneyland level of functionality and insights and capabilities without the massive upfront cost. So just a quick run through of some of the key functionality that you need for an attraction online set of tools. So there's the open times, calendars, all the data and settings behind your attraction, as well as the capabilities of doing customized designs and making it look and feel exactly like you need for your attraction. So you get a really core foundation, but then we can layer on, all you need to bring your attraction to life. And then there's lots more on the next slide. So obviously we've thought about a lot of the areas that sometimes get missed in the bespoke projects where budgets are more limited. So from the outset, we can build in, best practice accessibility, scalable infrastructure, and lots of complexity and optimizations to mean it kind of just gives you a head start right from the outset. But I wanted to focus on 3 quick examples on the next one. So e-commerce is one of the areas. So having a customizable, optimized booking journey that's all mobile first. So you get all your strong call to actions, complicated package offerings and comparisons, and then the upsells and cross sells that you need. Next one, please, Peter. And the data side, just to focus on that, as Peter said, you've got to understand your customers and get this single customer view. But historically, that's been really complicated and difficult to achieve with all the different APIs. So we built in tools and options so that you can understand your customers and then start using that for triggered campaigns and targeted messaging right the way through their journey. So from the pre-visit, during their visit and post-visit. And then the last example, Peter, is all then layering in all the psychology and lessons we've learned over the last 20 years to make websites deliver for your customers and against your business objectives. So layering in all the psychology, conversion rate optimization and best practices. So those are areas that we can do kind of audits and reviews as well as one-off projects. So yeah, that's a very quick tour. Then back to you, Peter, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to reiterate, the system is modular. It allows you to deploy in a number of phases. It doesn't have to be all a big bang approach to the project. And you can see here, typically the type of phasing that we would have for an implementation. We have 20 years of experience that we can put into the mix. We've got a lot of experience with a lot of venues, as you can see from the slide. So some quite large. We do a lot of work with Merlin and Legoland, but also some much smaller entertainment venues as well. And I think the key point really here is that because we've been able to work in this sector for so long, we've built up a great deal of experience and knowledge. And it is a complex sector simply because of the number of integrations we have to have. It's not just the brochure site, it's very much transactional management and collecting of data as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you found that informative. If there's any further information you'd like from us, either contact myself or Neil on the email addresses or mobile phone numbers on the screen. Hopefully these can be distributed to you afterwards, should you be interested.